Hi everyone, and welcome back to the final video covering my flights on board Fiji Airways. I've already covered most of the food and service aspects to Fiji, so this video is more about how the A330 business class compares to the flagship A350 product. Check-in at San Francisco was easy, and I was airside in no time. This was my first time flying out internationally from San Francisco, and to be honest, I was slightly underwhelmed by the terminal. I made my way to the gate, but unfortunately I couldn't get a good view of the plane taking us to Nadi tonight. The San Francisco to Nadi flight was operated by an Airbus A330-300, apparently the only one in their fleet. The forward section of this plane has 24 business class seats in a 222 configuration, followed by a small economy cabin which Fiji calls the quiet zone. As you can see, the layout on this A330 is significantly different to that on the A350, with an older style of seat. It means those sitting in the window seats do not have direct aisle access and would have to jump over their seatmate if they want to get out. With that in mind, I chose seat 4D for this flight. Just like my other flights, there was a pillow and blanket at my seat. However, unlike my flight from Nadi to LA on the A350, there was no additional mattress pad for the A330. The seat is wide enough, with ample legroom, but it's more of a regional business class seat rather than a proper long-haul option nowadays. Privacy is minimal, but there is a small divider which I'll show later. On one side of the seat is a power outlet and some storage, which had my amenity kit. In front of you are two storage bins with a latch to secure the cover. Towards the top there is also a coat hook. In the middle, between the seats, there are a couple more storage areas, with the safety cards and my headphones. Lower down, there's a handy water bottle holder. On the other side of the seat are the seat controls, with individual adjustments and presets. There's also a lumbar adjustment, but I rarely find these to actually do anything useful. Just under that is the remote control for the IFE. Personally, I don't like the position of this remote, as you can accidentally press it with your leg while sitting. Interestingly, this plane runs a different entertainment system to that on the A350. The crew came around and handed out some water bottles. Seeing as the window seat was empty, I asked the crew if I could move. Honestly, I don't think I'd want to sit here if I had a seatmate. On longer flights, I prefer the aisle seat so I can get in and out without having to disturb someone so much. It would be even worse in bed mode, as you'd have to jump over someone's body without accidentally knocking them or waking them up. The night I took this flight, there were some bad storms in Fiji, so we spent over an hour on the ground before being allowed to push back and take off. After takeoff, the crew brought around some drinks. I just had water, but both still and sparkling for good measure. The table is a good size, but there's no way to get out once it's deployed. The meal was brought out all in one. I had a chicken curry with rice, salad, and some bread, and a cheesecake to finish it all off. With just over 8 hours to go, I decided to turn in for the night. This is what the A330 seat looks like in bed mode. First of all, the seat isn't flat. You might be able to see that the seat is actually at an angle to the ground. This is made worse by the fact the leg portion drops away towards the end of the bed. Factor in the lack of a mattress topper, and this is a considerably worse product than the A350 as a bed. I slept on and off for just under 7 hours and woke up as we were closing in on Nadi. The lighting on this A330 was also a bit harsh on the eyes compared to the A350, so waking up was a bit of a shock. The crew came around and offered a drink while they prepared breakfast. To start, I had a fruit platter with some pastries and muesli, followed by a breakfast burrito. The food was fine, but not as good as from Sydney or Fiji. It was a dark and gloomy approach into Nadi. The city had just been hit with massive rain and there was substantial flooding. Enough flooding, in fact, that Nadi town was inaccessible. So how does the Fiji A330 compare? Well, frankly, it's a step behind the A350 and there's no way to really fix that. It just is what it is. I took this flight because it saved me about $800 compared to leaving from LA. For me, that saving was worth it, but all other things being equal, pick the A350 when you can.